This conference will now be recorded.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the meeting in order. This is the Board of Commissioners for the Lake Stevens Sewer District. It is Thursday, April 22nd, 2021. It's 0900 in the morning, or 9 a.m. for a lot of folks. As we get started, I just want to read our general statement we usually put out since we've gone into this pandemic mode. So let me go ahead and start with that. So my fellow commissioners, staff, citizens, since this is a remote meeting, there are some initial comments that are appropriate. As required by the governor's series of proclamations beginning in March 24th, 2020, the Lake Stevens Sewer District is holding its commissioner meetings remotely using this GoToMeeting platform. While this isn't our normal way of doing business, we are glad that we're able to do this to ensure the continuity of business operations. Members of the public who are participating, we are very grateful that you're here and for your support and patience as we work through this interim way of doing business. Members of the public have been invited to join us via the virtual meeting platform GoToMeeting. The public comments section of the agenda will be handled in the following way. First, any comments, questions that were received by the Sewer District's customer service office or otherwise received sufficiently in advance of the meeting will be read during this public forum. Secondly, during this meeting, anyone wishing to comment during the public forum may use the chat box feature and you'll be provided with the opportunity to make any comments. My fellow board members, we're going to take attendance real quick this morning. So when I call your name, please speak loud and clear if you can hear me. That way the folks that are joining us via this virtual platform could also hear us. So we'll do our very best to talk one at a time. And I know that we do have Commissioner Koshi is out of the office today. So we'll go ahead and start with Commissioner Stevenson. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Perfect. And so I know that everybody could hear me. So as we go ahead and start, let's go ahead and start with Pledge of Allegiance. So please join me in that real quick. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. So I think let's move to agenda approval. I don't know if there's any additions, subtractions by staff or board members this morning that want to add to that. I know that we did get a last moment addition this morning that was included. So hopefully everybody's got the latest and greatest version that came out via email. If there are no other changes, I would entertain a motion to approve this fine agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
So there is a first. I will second that motion. So it has been first and seconded. Call for the vote. If there's no other discussion, not seeing anybody throw their hands up frantically or try to get our attention. So all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
It has carried. Okay. We've got consent agenda items, which is number 4 on the list. It is A through I. I'm sure that the other members have had an opportunity to look at through the packets that have been sent out this week. So if there's no other questions, I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
I make a motion to approve consent items A through I.
I will second that. So it has been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda items A through I as submitted. Call for the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
And it has been approved. Moving on down, public forum. I will check with staff. Did we receive any questions, comments, concerns?
We did receive one. It was submitted in writing, so I'll go ahead and read it for the board.
Perfect.
Addressed to myself, dated 4/19/2021. Please see that this information gets to the board. Thanks in advance. This document describes my thoughts on your currently expensive and ineffective fats, oils, and grease policy. Problem: most reasonable people would agree that fat deposits are a significant problem in our sewer system. I'm addressing the effort to mitigate that issue. At present, businesses and nonprofits are penalized for a problem that may not originate on their premises. As an example, Ebenezer Lutheran Church, not-for-profit, is billed an extra $325 for the year based on water usage. In the same time period, a very small portion of that water comes from the kitchen. Most of the water usage is from restrooms. The Lake Stevens Food Bank, church employees, and volunteers who use restrooms regularly. Currently, the kitchen only does takeout, distributing meals in takeaway containers that end up in the trash, not washed. The only legitimate kitchen wastewater is from washing large pans in which food is cooked, and we don't grease fry. That's only for 1 day per week to our food distribution. These extra fees are calculated the same way as restaurants whose wastewater is primarily from the kitchen. I'm sure many other churches and other facilities are in the same position. Nonprofits are usually struggling these days. This billing system is absolutely unfair to those who do the right things and contribute little to the problem. How do we fix this? I suggest sampling wastewater in sewer line cleanout locations to identify where the offenders are. This would certainly require some effort and cost to locate the sources. Those costs could then be charged to the offenders. To begin this process, you would begin sampling large lines. Once a problem is spotted, progressively move upstream to smaller lines until you find the source. What's next? There is little doubt that individual homes likely generate a larger percentage of fat than businesses. Clearly, private residents' issues will be more difficult to address. Ken Cross, 425-760-1273, ken2cross@gmail.com. And that is all the comments we received.
Okay, no, I appreciate it. I think I mean, just listening to it, what was read, I think there's a kind of a confusion because the fats, grease, oils program really is different than what we're charging. This is a commercial rate that is being charged, and I think that's set up because we only charge by water usage for our commercial accounts, and so appreciate hearing from the gentleman in regards to that, and if there's more that the staff feels that we could address, definitely we'll listen to what staff has and work from there. But I think that there might be some confusion that our commercial rates and the program that we authorize for restaurants and that to get grants to mitigate some of the fats that are being placed into the system causing us some other problems is completely different. I don't know if I'm completely off base. I'm looking to staff, but that's what it kind of seems like. There's two different issues there, but you know, there's recommendations.
Sure,
we'll listen.
Wayne. So I did talk to Mr. Cross earlier in the week. He was quite upset. He's being charged $325, which is the pre-treatment fee that's charged to businesses, all commercial accounts. So it's businesses such as restaurants, daycares, churches, those that have an industrial kitchen. The pre-treatment program, the board approved a couple months back, which was a revamp to our previous 3 years of the program. In the new program, previously, everyone was charged $500, and if they would make some certain compliance and get us the documentation, we refunded the money. This time we are not doing the refund, as it was quite a burden on staff in order to do that. The other thing is we are required to inspect even Ebenezer Church, as Ken was commenting on, 4 times a year. So it covers our fee for sending our inspector out and doing that inspection as well. So does that answer kind of the question there?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I mean, if there's more that comes and we need to address it, we'll address it then, but I appreciate hearing from the public in regards to that. So I think that there was some time spent in following the recommendation of staff, who is the ones out in the field doing this kind of service each and every day. So, you know, I guess I'm comfortable with what we're currently doing, and we're always open to suggestions, so we do appreciate hearing from the public. I don't know if Commissioner Stevenson has any comments on that. Oops, I muted myself. So if we have no other comments in regards to that, I don't know if there's anybody who has submitted anything in the chat box or would like to speak to the Board of Commissioners this morning. Not seeing anybody come out of the woodwork to say yes, me. We will go ahead and move on to item number 6, which is old business. It is a resolution number 998 declaring real property surplus and authorizing the general manager to execute a quick claim deed to transfer ownership. So I will open that up to the general manager.
So this is an update of a resolution that had been previously passed, but we found some errors in it and wanted to get it corrected before it gets recorded with the county. And so this is, again, is for the transfer of the old wastewater treatment plant to the city of Lake Stevens for municipal purposes. The error previously was in the legal description and lot numbers of the transferred property. So that has been updated, and then we'll just need new signatures and get it recorded.
Perfect. So we can make a motion to pass resolution number 998 and just declaring it, and then go from there.
Approve resolution 998 declaring real property surplus and authorizing the general manager to execute a quick claim deed to transfer ownership.
Okay, it has been moved. I will make a second to resolution number 998 declaring the real property surplus, authorizing the GM to execute that quick claim deed to transfer the ownership. So any further discussion, any other comments by anybody? Not seeing anybody wave me down and not hearing anybody jump in. Call for the vote on that. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Resolution has passed. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for the good work on that and identifying a tax parcel number we had to correct. So good deal for everybody on that. So appreciate it. Moving into new business, which is going to be under items 7. The first one is going to be an easement agreement granting the city of Lake Stevens access to the decommissioned wastewater plant through the lift station 20 lot. I will open that up to the staff.
So similar to granting them the surplus property in resolution 998, what this does, it gives them access to that property. So we used our standard easement agreement language and then updated it specifically for this easement, and it would give them access either through road or possible utilities in that area.
Perfect.
So I should add, it's been reviewed by legal and it is recommended by staff.
Thank you. So I guess we'd entertain a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to approve easement agreement granting the city of Lake Stevens access to the decommissioned wastewater treatment plant through the lift station 20 lot.
think you're muted.
I'm not sure why I keep hitting the wrong button, but I would second that. Just double checking to see if we need to add an addition of authorizing the GM to sign that easement agreement.
That would be appropriate.
That would be nice.
That would be perfect. So yes, I would, like I said, I would second the motion, but adding the addendum authorizing the general manager or designee to sign the easement agreement, allowing the city of Lake Stevens access to the old wastewater treatment plant that we are now deeding over to them. So, any further questions by any of the folks? Not seeing anybody wave or make comments. I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
It has been approved. Moving on down to awarding the driveway and manhole raising project to Rainier for the amount of $6,534.55. I will open that to staff. I'm sure the assistant GM knows all about that and will give us the backstory.
All right, so this project is to replace 2 driveway panels that have been damaged by one of our manholes that were in the driveway. The district went out to bid a couple of weeks ago and opened bids last week, and Rainier was the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. So district staff recommends awarding the small works contract to our small works project to Rainier for $6,534.55.
Perfect. Thank you. Entertain a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to approve a driveway and manhole raising project to Rainier for $6,534.55.
So there is a motion. I will second that motion awarding that driveway and manhole raising project to Rainier in the amount as stated, and call for the vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
It has been approved. Thank you on that. Moving on down to award of the treatment plant gate replacement project to NPR in the amount of $33,252.20. Open that to staff to give us some information.
All right. So this project is to replace the automatic gate at the new treatment plant. The previous gate, or the existing gate there now, hasn't been operational at all, except for manually for about a month and a half. And staff, since the treatment plant went online, has spent a lot of time keeping it serviceable and working. And at this point, the cost to repair is a little over a third of what it would cost to totally replace the gate. And the replacement gate adds additional functionality to allow for a more secure site, such as remote operation. So we could keep the gate closed throughout the day. So yeah, district staff recommends the award to NPR for $33,252.20.
Thank you. Any comments by the other commissioners, questions? Hearing none, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for the award treatment plant gate replacement project to NPR for $33,252.20.
So there is a motion. I will second that motion. And any further questions before we call for the vote? Not seeing anybody raise their hands or speak up. I'll go ahead and call for the vote on that motion. So all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion has carried for the NPR gate replacement for $33,252.20. Have fun with that one. Let's move on down to item D, which is a variance request to allow RV dump site on the Hartford Industrial site, lots number 6 and 7. We'll go ahead and open that up to staff.
All right. So we were approached by the owner of the toy garage, or the district project was the Hartford Industrial project. They're asking for a variance to 2 of our codes, code 710110, which determines the discharge limits of domestic wastewater and sets the limit for the 5-day biological oxygen demand at 300 parts per million. Generally, RV dump sites would exceed that 5-day BOD, but in this case, the quantity of the discharge would not be of significant risk to the treatment plant. The second code is 710030, which describes, I guess, unlawful connections, and generally a privy or septic tank would not be, which an RV holding tank kind of falls into that realm, wouldn't be allowed typically. So the district staff has reviewed the request for variance and has made a recommendation that the variance, or staff recommends the variance for approval contingent upon the proponent keeping a log at each of the 3 dump sites that are on the Hartford Industrial site. If more than 10 dumps per day are logged at any of the 3 sites, that month we would charge an additional $86 a month. And that would go on for the first year. If after that first year we see that the average is more than 10 dumps a day at each of those sites, then we would make it a consistent additional $86 per month. So again, yeah, district staff recommends this variance for approval.
Okay, any questions by the other commissioners? Okay, the only question I would have is, I mean, does the variance, or does any language in the variance that we would grant to this authorize the district if we feel that it's not in the best interest of our organization, because it's having a large effect on the effluent that's coming through, that we can give notice and say we're no longer going to allow that kind of discharge?
We can definitely make the permit approval contingent upon them signing an agreement that states as much. Yeah.
Yeah, it was I'm just wondering, because I know that sometimes, I mean, if we leave it wide open and allow a variance for RV dump sites, and some people think, well, it's an additional this and that, what would stop, I think, other places from deciding to open up their own RV dump sites, and all of a sudden, because we have one variance that allows it, everybody wants to jump onto that wagon, because I think pandemic-wise, everybody under the sun went out and bought themselves a new RV to do some traveling, and then all of a sudden they're realizing, where do we dump the effluent if the rest stops are all closed? So I just didn't know if that was something that we were looking at or we see coming down the road. I mean, I think that you guys know it best as far as how it's going to have some sort of effect on the entire system if we open that door ever so slightly. Sometimes how those things just seem to manifest into an avalanche.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a great point, and we can write it in as one of the conditions of approval. And I think that's a great idea.
Okay. Well, then I guess I'll go ahead and make a motion authorizing the variance and having staff decide the appropriate language, working with legal to protect the district's position in regards to allowing the additional RV dump sites in the Hartford industrial area on lots 6 and 7.
I'll second.
So it has been moved and seconded to authorize that a variance. I'll go ahead and call for the vote if there's no other questions. Seeing nobody raise their hand or make any noise. All in favor? Aye. I got a horrible connection. I'm going to take it. We made that motion approval, so we will move on if that was captured. Let's move on down to item E then under new business. It's the request for an unbudgeted hire of wastewater treatment plant operator 1 and operator in training. I will turn that over to staff.
Thank you. So as you know, we had posted for an open position for an entry-level operator 1 or operator in training for the wastewater treatment plant. We had an amazing response with very excellent candidates. It was something like over 160 or so applicants, which we narrowed down and then held interviews this past, actually on Monday. What I would like to see us do is actually hire 2 candidates out of this same pool instead of just the 1. It is an unbudgeted request in that we could add it into the mid-year budget for the second employee. But I do recognize the need for an additional body down there at the treatment plant. We've been short-staffed for a while, and we could really use the second operator in training in order to train them together, bring them up together at the same time would lessen the impact on staff. Budget-wise, the impact for this year would be somewhere around $87,000 with benefits and salary. And it'll just depend on starting date and at what level that individual starts. But this would be recommended by staff. If the commission were to approve, we would hope to get somebody in by mid next month.
Thank you. Any questions by the other commissioner? Not hearing any and not seeing anybody else raise a hand. The only thing I would say is obviously if there's a need, I want to make sure that we fill that need. You know, as an elected, we look forward to working with obviously the administration to give us some guidance on these things. And so looking at what the cost for the remaining this year is really pretty insignificant when we look at, I know we've had some cost savings and everything else, and we can put it into our budget. So it does sound like there's the need at the plant. So I have no issue whatsoever in moving forward in regards to that. So if my fellow commissioner agrees and wants to entertain a motion for that, I would move forward.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for an unbudgeted hire for wastewater treatment plant operator 1, operator in training.
Okay, it has been moved, and I will second that for the staff to work towards filling that how they see fit in regards to the unbudgeted wastewater treatment plant operator 1 and operator in training. Any further discussion? I'm sure none of the staff wants to say, yeah, we'd like to not do that, but you can say, yes, we need it. So I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
It has moved forward. Have fun with that, folks. I know it's a need, and I want you guys to make sure you get the best of the best that you need to make that place run like it should. So appreciate that. So let's move on down to managers' reports. We'll start with the general manager. This is under item number 8 for those who might only be listening to us. So 8 on the manager's reports. So I will open it up to the general manager.
Alrighty, this past week we had a little problem down at the plant with the pH meter, but I just want to give some praise to our operators down there. Kurt in particular did a lot of work with it in order to get it back online. If you remember, pH is a really important metric in our permitting. And it's really because of his work and also the relationship that our operators have with other districts. We were able to reach out to Everett, and they were able to provide us just some help. The company, Hawk, that manufactures that pH meter, didn't even have the ideas that Everett did in order to help us out and get that thing back online. And we also have such an excellent relationship with Department of Ecology that we were able to reach out right away and say, here's what's going on. And they provided us a solution for tracking in order for avoiding any kind of, negative impact to our permit. So great job by them. The other thing is we did make an offer for a new employee for our collections team that will be starting May 3rd. So we're really excited about adding somebody there. And then, like I said, the new plant interviews occurred on Monday. And so we will be looking to make some offers for that. Really appreciate the commissioner's support in getting 2 individuals out of that same pool. The other thing to update you on is I've been working with the city to make sure that we have a similar messaging that's going out to the public about when our offices might be opening. We were looking at a May 1st open date for our lobby. However, with the governor's message that Snohomish County may be reverting to phase 2, we're going to delay that a little bit longer. Staff has been working with the boardroom in order to try and provide a hybrid for board meetings where we could possibly be in person and provide the online link as well. So we've been trying to work that out so that whenever the commissioners decide that that's the route you want to go, we'll be ready for you. And then other than that, I got nothing. Thank you.
Thank you. No, appreciate it. That's great to hear a lot of those things. It's good to see new people coming on board. Kudos to the treatment plant for reaching out and solving that pH issue before it did become a big issue, because that is a basis that we have to ensure that our discharges are proper. So thank you again on that. Let's move to our assistant GM, please.
All right. So we've collected 213.59 connection fees and issued 214 permits to date. The longtime consulting inspector from G&O has moved on to a new employer. So earlier this week, Angeline and I welcomed Adam John, who will be filling in for a bit, and introduced him to some of the active construction sites. So we're looking forward to forging ahead with Adam. And earlier this week, we had the pre-construction meeting for Toll Estates, which is a 31 lot going in on 83rd Avenue Southeast. And they'll be starting sewer construction early next month. And that's all I got.
Thank you. Well, see, it's great to see our permits they're still rolling in. So considering it's what, April, we're doing well. So thank you everybody for the hard work on that. That's awesome. Let's move on down to the treatment plan update. I see Jim in there. Good morning, Jim. It is yours.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I think Mariah is going to post a picture here in a minute, but so far the treatment plan was preparing for the dry weather season, and everything was looking good. In fact, we mowed the lawn twice, but it looks like all that good weather might go away for a week, but we're all right. We're very happy to hear that we're going to hire a couple people. We've been a little bit behind, so that's going to be a great assistance to us, and we're looking forward to training them. Currently, the big issue or the big project item on site is we are switching over to magnesium hydroxide from sodium hydroxide on a pilot test. We anticipate about 3 months of this test to go on. We tried starting it twice, and we did have little niches or little errors in there. But we worked them all out. Conley did a great job, and the team out here did an awesome job. And so everybody's coming together at 11 o'clock today just to kind of finalize it from all sides. The story with the mag hydroxide is it's about 70 to 75% more effective than the sodium hydroxide and much easier to handle. It's not a caustic problem. So if it gets on you, there's no injury, etc. And it costs a little bit more per gallon, but you use about 25 to 30% of the amount that you use on sodium hydroxide. So we're hoping to see considerable savings through the rest of the year and then on into the future if it works correctly with our system. And just so you know, the last 2 days the pH has been up around 6.5, which is just great for us. And that's the magnesium hydroxide appears to be working very well.
Excellent.
I talked and talked and talked. I never saw Mariah put the picture up.
She's probably looking for it.
Anyway, we're really doing good, and we're also happy to see the gate, which does the Federal Clean Water Act does require to be able to lock and unlock and have security at your site for wastewater facilities, and so the gate's going to be a big bonus. We appreciate Jonathan and Melanie who helped us a lot on getting that bid in.
Excellent. No, that is something absolutely. I want to make sure that the security of our facilities is an absolute. I mean, we're a critical infrastructure, needs to be treated as such, and appreciate all the hard work. It's great to see we're thinking of other options that are going to hopefully work a lot better, and getting you folks the needed personnel down there. That's awesome. So really look forward to it. So thank you again on that. I don't know, Commissioner Stevenson had any comments, because I just kind of brushed through, but I want her to add anything that she might have, so please.
No, just thank you for everyone at the treatment plant. I think you guys do an amazing job there. So.
Perfect. Thank you, everybody. So we're going to move on down to city report. I am not seeing anybody from the city at the moment. Let me take a look at maybe they might be on the phone. So far, I see mainly, well, looks like everybody that I'm recognizing as far as the phone call belongs to this organization in one way, shape, or form. So I don't know if we have anybody from the city today that wanted to represent their organization. Not seeing anybody jump out. We're just going to move on then. So no city report due to no city being here. So let's go on down to the commissioner's reports. I'll open up with Commissioner Stevenson if she has anything.
Reiterate that you guys do an amazing job, and that I love that the outpouring of people wanting to work for the sewer district. I think that's a testament to everything we do here. So thank you to everyone.
And I would just reiterate those sentiments. You guys do an awesome job. Really appreciate all the hard work that's going in to make things go forward. I like the recommendations you guys are giving us, because like I said, you're the ones working it day in and day out. So you know what works, what doesn't, and we really, as an elected body, we do rely on you guys to give us a lot of the information to move forward. So that is very, very grateful that we have such a professional staff. So thank you, everybody, and keep up the good work. I know Commissioner Koshy's not here today. He is out of the office, so he's probably enjoying himself and not worrying about one thing at all, but till he sees what we all approve. But that's all right. He'll learn. The majority takes it, so I'm good with that. We are going to have an executive session. It is currently 9:39 a.m. I'm going to say that this executive session is probably going to last. We're going to start until 10 a.m. We'll go at least 20 minutes and extend if we need to. I'll let legal go ahead and put that out. There's just going to be some updates and that, but I will turn it over. I know we have both our legal advisors here. So, gentlemen, I'm going to turn it over to you guys.
Well, why don't
I'll let you
start?
Yeah.
So the commission will now recess into executive session. The purposes of the executive session will be to review the performance of public employees and to discuss with legal counsel the status of pending litigation. As the president has indicated, the executive session will last, it's anticipated to last until 10 o'clock a.m. At the conclusion of the executive session, the commission will return to regular session and the commission meeting will be adjourned without any action taken based upon the matters discussed in executive session, and there will not be any announcement based upon the discussion in executive session.
Perfect. So as the gatekeeper controls everything, I'll let them go ahead and end our recording, include those who need to be included, and
This conference will now be recorded.
the Board of Commissioners are back into regular session. It is 10 a.m. We're going to extend for an additional 15 minutes in executive session, and as we do come out of that at the end of the executive session, there will be no decision to follow. So appreciate everybody's patience.
All right, so Jonathan and I are going to jump off.
This conference will now be recorded.
So the Board of Commissioners are back in regular session. It is 10:15 a.m. As we had stated, we'd be coming out. I am going to extend it an additional 15 minutes to come out at 10:30 hours or a.m. And again, no decision to follow the executive session.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, well, the Board of Commissioners for the Lake Stevens Sewer District are back in regular session. It is 10:30 a.m. as we had noted prior to going into the extension of the last couple times. So the board is in regular session with no action to follow in regards to any of the various topics that we had to discuss in executive session itself. So with that being said, I would entertain a motion from a fellow commissioner to adjourn this finally.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, staff. Hopefully, Raj, you could probably let, if anybody, the GM and the assistant GM know that we're back. Well, of course, we got Melanie here, but we'll stop by and sign any vouchers that need to be signed so you guys can actually pay the bills, even though we did approve them. So appreciate that from everybody. Have a wonderful week. It's almost over, so the weekend's here. It may be a little wet, but you know what? Hey, we had a great run while we had it. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you, sir. Bye, Jen.